Hi people, you're welcome to Opportunities Worldwide. There is a new exciting opportunity. It's a leadership training program for young East Africans, and it has two tracks or two options to participate. One will be residential in Nairobi, and another option of attendance will be online. So you'll take the leadership training online for a period of 4 weeks. I'm on the website where the official call has launched. So what is YALI? The Young African Leaders Initiative was launched by the United States government as a signature effort to invest in the next generation of African leaders. The need to invest in grooming strong, results-oriented leaders comes out of the statistics. Nearly 1 in 3 Africans are between the ages of 10 and 24, and approximately 60% of Africa's total population is below the age of 35. So this leadership program is for East Africans who are in civic engagement, public management, who work like with government bodies. And the last track is in business, basically mainly for profit businesses, I should say. So let's continue reading. Who will empower and lead these young Africans? Who will shape the future of business and entrepreneurship, civic leadership, and public management? In order to answer these questions, YALI promotes 3 models designed to identify and empower young leaders: the YALI Mandela Washington Fellowship, YALI Network, and the regional leadership centers across Africa. Okay, so there are 3 regional leadership centers across Africa, but for today, I'm mainly going to talk about I'm going to show you the step-by-step application procedure for the East African Regional Leadership Center. That's in Nairobi. So you'll come and read everything at your own pace. I'm going to share a link to this website in the description. I'm also going to show you how to get to this website. I'll share the link to this website and also the formal application form in the description of this video. So if you know any young leaders in East Africa between 18 to 35, and they're working in civic leadership, that includes like training people in their community, for public management, mainly for working with government, and for profit business, you can share this video with them. So let's read more about the YALI Regional Leadership Center East Africa. The YALI Regional Leadership Center East Africa, located at Kenyatta University in Nairobi, Kenya, serves 14 countries in Africa and Central Africa. Countries include Burundi, Central African Republic, Republic of the Congo, DRC, Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. The center is overseen by Kenyatta University and is supported by a growing number of African and international partners. Selected participants will engage in leadership training across 3 tracks of study, that is business and entrepreneurship, civic leadership, and public management, in a 4-week residential format with a focus on individual and team leadership skills, innovation, creative learning, and communication. The program's emphasis is on interactive and experiential learning, which fosters each participant's ability to contribute both individually and in teams. YALI RLC East Africa has also introduced online learning. So, okay, for this call, there are going to be 2 tracks, the online and the in-person one. Who should apply? As I said, you should be 18 to 35 years of age at the time of the application submission. You should be a citizen of one of the 14 African countries that I mentioned above, but I can repeat them for you: Burundi, Central African Republic, Republic of the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. So you should not also be a US citizen or permanent resident of the US. You should be eligible to receive any necessary visa to Kenya and you should be proficient in reading, writing, listening, and speaking in the English language. So let's go to apply now. But before that, let me show you how to get to this website. So what you have to do is go to your browser and type in YALI. Just type in YALI RLC. And as you're seeing, it's the first result. So you come to the website. This is how it looks. This is the site where I was on. And then you click on apply now. So when you click on apply now, just type in your name. Say you are an employee. So that's your name and maybe your email. JaneChloe@gmail.com. You're from Uganda and maybe your phone number is type in a password. Okay, let's just type in a password. Okay, so when you complete filling in this form, just tap on register. And when you register, you will be automatically taken to a new page. So let's go to that new page. You'll be brought to a page that looks like this. So you come, as you're seeing on this, on your left hand side, these are the different pages you have to navigate: general information, educational languages, professional experience, program track, and connect selection. So you go to the left hand side, this web page, and you see the different pages. There is a total of 8 pages. The first one is for general information. The second page has education and languages. The third page is for professional experiences. The fourth page is for program track and cohort selection. The fifth page is for personal statements. Sixth is for supplemental questions. Seventh is for recommending participants. And finally, the last page is for submitting applications. Let's look at it. But you can't submit before filling all these other details in different pages. I think you're seeing a tick on this, on each page that I've put in some information, there's a tick, meaning you can submit. But on these other pages, from page 5 to page 7, I think you're saying a red exclamation mark, meaning I haven't filled in anything. So let's go and see what's on the different pages. So on the first page, what is your highest? Okay. On the first page is for general information. So you type in your name, gender, date of birth, where you live, phone number, everything is quite easy. Then you come and put in your social media accounts, your Skype. If you use Skype, your Facebook ID, if you use Facebook, then you'll save and continue. Important to note is that when you save and continue, you can always close the page and come back another day to complete. In case maybe your data get done, you can always come back and submit the application or continue from where you stopped. So the second page is for education and languages. What is the highest degree you have completed? So you come and select what applies to you. Are you currently a student? If you select yes, you come and put in the details. If you select no, there will be nothing. What is the highest level of education you have completed? University. Name of school or institution last attended. You come and type it in, what field you studied, the location of the school, the country where you studied. Then you'll come and also rank your English language proficiency. For example, speaking, it's advanced, intermediate. Either way, you don't have to be perfect. You just be honest and select what's applicable to you. So if your English language proficiency is basic, please put basic. If it's advanced in reading, put advanced. If it's intermediate, select that. Listening comprehension, advanced or basic, whatever applies to you. Then you can select other languages you speak, maybe French, Swahili, Ganda, Luo, and then you can save and go to the next page. Then you can come and talk about your professional experience. So I've already filled in some parts because I didn't want to waste time. So on this page, as you can see, it's the third page, it's your professional experience. Please tell us about your professional experience. This can include formal or informal employment, self-employment, or other forms of engagement with organizations. It is not mandatory that you or have ever been employed, but we want to know as much about you as possible. So list up to 3 positions you are still studying with the most recent. So my advice for you is to list related work and make sure that, okay, it's not a must that it should be really applicable to the cohort to the track you're selecting, for example, civic or public engagement or business and entrepreneurship, but it's always wise to put related work experiences. So from what I filled in here, you can see all the jobs are related. For example, advocacy lead, publicity assistant, events and publicity, all these are communications related roles. So let's see what I type in. The first organization I put, of course, was Youth in Sustainable Development. Okay, that organization doesn't exist, but I was just showing you how to put your work experiences. Was this self-employment? You can select yes or no, depending on what's applicable to your situation. So then you select the duration and then key responsibilities and achievements. So make sure you type in at least 100 words. And so this is just a summary, but when you're writing this, you have to write paragraphs in detail. So in that role, I put that I organized campaigns, and my major achievement was organizing 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and the campaign went viral globally. So that was the achievement. The responsibility was that I organized campaigns. So you can talk about maybe various campaigns that you held, how you organized them, and a major achievement. So the major achievement was the 16 days of activism campaign. So another organization I put, Let's Journal Uganda, advocacy lead. And my key responsibilities, okay, it's still the same thing. You can use the same knowledge, but make sure you write essays. So don't just write something short that were written. Make sure you expand, write the people you did the work with, why you did the work, when you did it, stuff like that. So it's the same thing up to here. So in my last experience that I put, it was with Uganda Youth SDGs for All Alliance. Important to note is that these organizations and these don't exist, but they're just to give you an idea of the kind of work experiences to use, but it's not a must that they should really be like this. So in this role, I was a publicity assistant. It was in self-employment. The duration is there, and my key responsibility was that I was in charge of handling major media publications for the organizations, and the major achievement I had was organizing a national press conference during the SDG week in 2023. So for your case as the main applicant, you have to expand on on these two sentences that are put there. So talk about who, what, where, when, why. Why did you organize a national press conference during the SDG week? So we go to the next part, which is leadership experience. So talk about, you can just see the example I've used. I've used Rotaract Kololo as an organizational club. The title was Events and Publicity. The month, okay, the duration is there. And then the responsibilities, use the same writing style from above. Key responsibilities and major achievements. So in that leadership experience, I orchestrated engaging events and maximized visibility through strategic publicity, ensuring seamless execution and widespread promotion for success. So expand who, why, what, where, when, until when the words are near 100 or 100 words maximum. So my next leadership role was at the Africa Women in Media, and I was the Uganda chapter head. The duration is there, and my responsibilities as country head for Africa Women in Media, I was responsible for overseeing all operations within Uganda, ensuring alignment with the overall corporate strategy. I collaborated with local teams to implement business plans, manage budgets, and foster relationships with stakeholders. The role involves strategic decision-making, regulatory compliance, and driving growth initiatives. So, write a leadership experience that's well aligned with your work and also with the track that you're applying to. So, for example, if you're going to apply to the business track, perhaps it would be best to bring out your business leadership experiences. But nevertheless, all experiences matter. So just put what's applicable to your situation. So you go to the next page. That's the program track and cohort selection. So you should really, for this example, I've really chosen the civic track because that's where I know. I'll be focusing on the civic leadership track because that's where I have expertise in. And even the previous pages, I've really been giving good examples in the civic leadership track. So you'll come and select what cohort you're going to apply for. And cohort 55 is the residential one. So, okay, you have to select both because you're not the one who decides which track you go to attend. Well, unless you're a picky person, okay. People with choices, but it's best to select both tracks here. So you also give the priority. So for example, if you want to attend cohort 55, which is the residential, give it first priority. And if you want to attend, okay, and if the online cohort is your second priority, make sure you select the second priority. Okay, let's tap and see what the detail is. Why is this not working? Okay, let's just go back here. So please check this box if you'd like to be considered for future cohorts. If maybe you're not yet 35 and you really have enough chances ahead of you, enough years for you to attain more cohorts in the future, you can select here. Or if you don't see yourself attending anymore and maybe it's an age limit, don't select. But let's check this for now and save and next. So personal statements. Your responses to the following questions will help the selection committee identify your current and potential leadership traits, as well as understand your desire to participate in the program. Your responses are therefore critical in distinguishing yourself from other candidates. Please note that there is a word limit for each question. Important, please be advised that once you select a track and answer the track-specific questions, changing track later will lead to loss of all your answers to the previous track. In case you change your track, you need to answer its related questions too. So for example, if you selected civic leadership in your previous in the previous page, okay, let's go back and see. So this is the previous page. If you selected here, I've selected civic leadership, but in case I change my mind and tap on public management, it means when I go to this fifth page of personal statements, I'm going to lose the progress I've been making. So I'll have to come back and fill this in. But anyway, so assuming you didn't change it, you didn't change your mind, you can come and just continue. So outline in detail the projects or organization or company or initiative you have founded or that you are currently running aligned to your selected track and the impact this project or company or initiative is having on the community. At what stage? Okay, those are many questions. So let's answer one question at a time. Outline in detail the project, organization, or company. So, for example, you started, let me say, a book club. Let's call it book club. It can be a registered initiative, or it doesn't really have to be a registered initiative, especially like in the civic track. It's not a must for you to have a formally registered initiative or a legally recognized initiative. It can be anything. So let's use this example of a book club in Uganda. Maybe an informal collective of young university readers. Maybe I'll just talk and then you type whatever applies to your situation. So this book club has young university readers, maybe the readers, each member in the club has to maybe contribute 5 books from their book library at home and put it in that community library. So that's how maybe the community is able to get all those books that people come and read for free. So that's a little about the initiative. So what's the impact that this project is having on the community? So for example, this book club is helping maybe people access a variety of books for free. So maybe they're getting skills to get employment, or it's helping them to access free mental health books, something like that. The next question is, at what stage is the initiative or organization? So for example, maybe that initiative has been running for weeks, months. Talk about what stage it is in. So maybe you can type idea stage, startup stage, maturity stage. So type in that stage that you're in and the reason why you think it's in that stage. or the duration you've spent running that initiative. And then the next question is, please include the name of the project or organization or company, your position. So you come and put in the position you've been holding in this book club. And if there are any maybe social media publications talking about you doing the work you're doing, you can include them in the link in this description here. So for example, I'm just going to use a random YouTube link. Come and copy it. Okay, you go to whatever social media account talked about the work you're doing or website, and you get a link and just paste it there, and maybe give a little description. Maybe in this dash something organization, I like my work as maybe team lead at Soma. So make sure you explain all these, you answer all these questions here. So let's go to the next question. You don't have to use only 32 words, but I'm just giving you an idea of what to write. So the next question is, describe in detail an innovative solution you have implemented to address a pressing challenge in your community or organization. Please describe the challenge, your problem, its effects, your solution, and the impact of your solution. So using the previous example, so for example, maybe the first initiative you did was to create that book club, and maybe years later you got team members who are good at making a mobile app. So let's assume you now have a mobile app, but this doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to always have a digital solution to be accepted into the program. So maybe I'll be talking about Soma mobile app. Let me just talk and then you'll type, describe the challenge or problem. So challenge, high cost of accessing academic, maybe self-help books, university. The effects, okay, the effects of the challenge. The effects, maybe people drop out, students drop out of school, they can because they cannot afford books, or maybe education is not holistic. That could be one of the effects. Education is not holistic. Students are not well-rounded. So what's your solution? Your solution is the Soma mobile app. Soma mobile app helps and helps university borrow maybe to be eligible to borrow a book, one has to contribute maybe at least 5 books. So it's a sustainable model that's helping students be able to access books. So talk about be eligible for a book as students. Is five books. And they can keep on borrowing for their entire stay at the university. So the last question is, what's the impact of your solution here? And the impact of your solution. The impact is that solution because of so this you're supposed to answer this whole question in an essay format. So the way I've written it here is not right. This is supposed to be in an essay format. So don't really copy everything I've written the way I've written. You're not supposed to talk about, you're not supposed to just type solution, then you start writing the way I've done. Write an essay, sentence after sentence, and one thing leading to another in a way that makes sense. Okay, so for example, let me just do it for you here. Maybe you can start by saying, I have created my mobile app because of the cost of accessing. Okay, then the effects is that people drop out of school because they cannot afford books. Education is also not holistic, hence students are not well-rounded. My solution is a Soma mobile app which helps university students to borrow books for free. To be eligible to borrow a book, a student must contribute at least 5 books. Then the impact is initiative is education is more affordable because of the Soma app. So as you can see, I'm still at 99 words. So you have to write more words, write more explanations of your initiative until you're at least at 240 words, at least 240 words, because the maximum is 250. So try to make sure you add more details about your initiative until you're almost reaching 250 words. So the next question is, how do your personal values regarding civic engagement play a role in helping you to accomplish your goals within the organizational community? So when I was initially applying, I had to do more research and try to understand what some of these terms are. So in case you don't know what civic engagement is, you can do a Google search or you can ask people in your community who you see as leaders to help you understand some of these words. So in my own terms, civic engagement is reaching out to communities and maybe educating them about their rights or how they can create change in their community in various fields. So for example, people who have professional organizations or professional initiatives, people in religious groups that fight for certain causes, people in maybe leisure groups also form part of civic engagement as long as there is a common cause they're fighting for. People in maybe cultural organizations, they don't really have to be registered. Maybe the organization is promoting culture for a certain tribe or preserving history for a certain group of people in a country. All that forms part of civic engagement. So you really don't have to only be in the professional setting for your initiative to qualify as civic engagement. So come and think about what your personal values are. Maybe it's just going to list for you a list of values. Maybe it's kind. Maybe it's will. What other personal value? Think about the personal values you have. Okay, so I'll talk about kindness. How do your personal values regarding civic engagement play a role in helping you to accomplish your goals? So you talk about how kindness helps you achieve your goals in civic engagement. So let me use an example of a Christian organization. If your initiative is maybe a Christian organization and you're trying to promote peace within your community using Christian values, you could talk about how kindness in Christianity has helped, is one of your values, and how it's being used to promote peace in your community. So give concrete examples. Maybe there was some clash in your community because maybe you're having very many people from various religious backgrounds and there's tension in the community. So how are you using kindness as a Christian value to bridge that? Make sure you write until you make at least 50 words explaining what I've just said. I'll just type in that so that I can be able to move to the next page. And then the next question is, what do you think is the importance of civic participation and activism in society? And how would you foster this practice amongst the younger population in your community? So as I've said, civic engagement doesn't only have to be about maybe politics or about a professional cause like maybe teaching women in IT. It can be religious, it can be a leisurely cause, it can be about preserving culture, it can be about creating awareness about maybe a pressing issue in the community. So what is the importance of civic participation and activism in society? For this, the first thing that comes to my mind is how does talking to people about an issue, or how does creating awareness help to solve the problem? Or how does organizing, that is like calling people who feel that something is an issue, how does calling them to maybe create a movement or to set up an initiative cause development in the community? What do you think is the importance of civic participation and activism in society? So talk from your perspective or from the issues you think are a challenge, and talk about the importance of that organizing, that movement building. How does that help society? And how would you foster this practice amongst the younger population in your community? So for example, you'd say, I'm going to talk to religious leaders and we shall do this, this, and this. And maybe that will cause peace in society. Maybe you, apart from only talking to the religious leaders, you'll maybe organize trainings or maybe start up a book club to read books about peace, or start a book club to read about maybe ending violence in your community. maybe using African leaders as your role model, something like that. I'm just going to type in anything in here so that I can be able to move to the next page. So the next question, do you work with AGYW, those are adolescent girls and young women, PWDs, or any other minority groups in your community? If your answer is yes, please explain what the organization does and your position. If your answer is no, kindly indicate that as well. This question is for data collection purposes only and will not be scored. So, okay. So if you work with adolescent girls and young women, type that here. As I've said, it's not a mandatory question, but you have to type in something. So, for example, if you're the choir master at your church, I think you have some sort of influence in your community, and maybe you're working with adolescent girls. So you can say, I am a choir master at church. Or I am the communications person at church, and I'm always training adolescent girls in church. I'm training them about how to communicate when they're in church. That can be another example. I am a communications at our church. Our church or organization, maybe you have impacted maybe 200 girls church in working maybe 2020. So for example, maybe you have apart from being the communications lead or choir master at your church, maybe you even went ahead and formed a circle for girls, for young women in your church to save money and borrow. So you're helping girls maybe save their little pocket money and also be able to borrow to meet some of their needs. So you can also type that here. Maybe I organize a church circle where we can save or okay, you can talk until you reach at least 240 words or 250 words maximum, or you can just stop there because this is not a mandatory question. So let's go to the next page. So supplemental questions. Responses to these questions are voluntary. You are not required to respond to these questions. No selections will be made based on this information. There will be no impact on your application if you choose not to answer any of these questions. Your responses will not be shown to the panel rating the applications or to anyone else who can affect your application. This information is used to better understand the people we are reaching out and will help us better assure maximum diversity. The aggregate information collected through this form will be kept private and confidential. So marital status, choose what you're married, choose if you're single. If you don't want to disclose, you can also just leave it. So now I'm choosing not to disclose religious affiliation, maybe you're an African traditionalist. Do you have a disability? Maybe yes. If yes, maybe Does your disability require any assistance? If yes, maybe you'll need people to carry. You'll need people with me. Have you previously participated in a leadership course or training? So you can select yes or no. If you select yes, come and give details about name of the course, provided by who, and in which year. Are you an employee of the government? If yes, select which country. Okay, select the level. Do you come from an area, country, region, or community that has experienced armed conflict and or recently terminated armed conflict, which is in contention over the control of government and or territory that results in armed force between two parties, at least one being a government or a state? Conflict-affected areas also include countries, regions, or communities indirectly affected by conflict due to population displacement, reallocation of government resources, or diminished capacity. So come and select what applies to you. If you answered yes to the above questions, briefly describe the nature of the conflict or crisis that you are experiencing or have experienced. So you'll come and type based on how you understood that question. If you select no, there'll be nothing. You come from an area that is experiencing or recently experienced a crisis. This also includes countries, regions, or communities indirectly affected by a crisis due to population displacement, reallocation of government resources, or diminished capacity. Crises include natural hazards, health epidemics, lawlessness, endemic crime and violence, and climate vulnerability. So if you select yes, then you have to come and explain why. Do you come from a financially challenged background? You can select what's applicable to you. Have you previously applied to YALI Mandela Washington Fellowship? If you applied yes, then no. If yes, were you selected to participate? Maybe no. If yes, did you participate in the program? Are you a member of the YALI network? Okay. You come and select what's applicable to you. Then how did you learn about the YALI Regional Leadership Center East Africa? So you come and select what applies to you. If it's none of these people, then you can select other. Just come and, okay, if you want about it from an alumni, you can select alumni. Kindly indicate which sector you are in. So there's a number of sectors here, from mining to renewable energy to retirement to healthcare. Select what's applicable to you. Do you know anyone currently in the program or an alumnus? You can select yes, name of participant or alumnus, their name here. Have you previously applied for other cohorts? If yes, were you selected? You can select yes or no. If you select yes, you'll have to come and type the cohort. Maybe it was cohort 30. Are you working or worked on any projects? Yes. If yes, type the project name. So maybe it was the Soma mobile app that you already described. Are you a refugee? If you're a refugee, type yes. If you live in an IDP, here. Are you from a historic? Okay, maybe type the IDP name. IDP something. Are you from a historically marginalized ethnic community in your community? If you select yes, then you come and describe why. So you'll save and go to the next page. So here we are finally on the last page, as you can see, the last page before we can submit. YALI RLC East Africa is committed to empowering more young leaders from East and Central Africa, especially youth based in rural areas. Youth with disabilities, refugees, young women, economically disadvantaged young leaders, gender diverse youth, historically marginalized ethnic groups, and other minorities. If you are aware of young leaders in any of these categories whom you feel would greatly benefit from the YALI RLC East Africa program, please type their names and email addresses in the boxes below and click the send button to give them a chance at having the YALI RLC East Africa experience. So put the people's names, their last name and email. Let's use Jane Dewey. Gmail.com. So I'll come and type in people who I think can apply. I'll type in an email. So if you know your friends, just come and type their emails and names so that they can also be notified and can apply for this program. Once you're done typing in your friends' email addresses and names, you can go to the next page. So this is the last page. Please read the certification and then submit the form. To participate in the YALI RLC East Africa program, I understand that I must meet the minimum eligibility requirements for admission to the program, that I must meet the qualification standards for the specific track that I have chosen, that I must be a citizen and resident of one of the designated countries served by the YALI RLC East Africa program, and that my admission to the program is subject to the determination by the admissions team and admissions community. I have read, understood, and will comply with the terms and conditions of the program. I hereby certify that I have completed this application fully and accurately to the best of my knowledge. I understand that any falsification, omission, or concealment or material may subject me to disqualification. I hereby acknowledge that if accepted as a participant in the YALI RLC East Africa program, I confirm that I will abide by the time commitment as outlined in the full 4-week program. So this is the last part, and once you select that you acknowledge everything above, you can click on the submit button. So once you're done, just click on the submit button, and that will be it. In case of any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll be able to see them. Important to note is that I'm going to share a link to this form, this application form, and also to the official website in the description. So if you know any young leaders in the 14 countries in East Africa, you can share this video with them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, so that you don't miss out on such content. Goodbye.